Welcome back to Marveled Media Podcast, where we talk about all things media, especially Marvel. I'm Blake. I'm here with my co-host Alex and Josh.
And welcome to episode 2 of DC Discussion. Today we'll be discussing where we would like the Batman trilogy to go. So I guess this will just be like an open discussion. I'll leave it open to whoever wants to go first.
I feel like the first thing that has to be covered is we just recently got the deleted scene from the Batman of him and his encounter with the Joker, played by Barry Cogan, however you pronounce it. I'll let you guys talk about that first. What your initial thoughts are from that scene?
My initial thoughts, just from like the scene being cut. I was kind of glad it was cut because
Big facts.
I think if it was in the film, it definitely would have derailed the pace in it. But with that being said, I think Barry Keoghan makes a frighteningly good Joker. I think he looks very scary. I think he's definitely taking the role serious just from the one scene. And I thought the scene by itself was fantastic.
I agree. I have the same feeling. It's definitely a different take. It's not a Joker that we've had before. Again, I mean, just by the actor himself, he's a younger actor, which makes sense. It's like year 1, year 2 of Batman, so pretty much all these characters are more on the younger side. And his like makeup and like the way he looks is just fucking like disgusting and weird. It's like he has like patches of hair missing. His face just looks like fucked up. So it looks kind of creepy, and I kind of like that. And I think if I remember correctly, I think he mentions that it's like their 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, he does.
So they've had an encounter before, which is kind of, weird to think about. It's like, oh, so he's already had this encounter. I wonder, like, where he can go next with it. But before I go into that, I'll just let Blake say it, because I kind of have my theories of how they're gonna go, and plan out this whole trilogy. But Blake, I know you probably have different feelings on it than me and Josh do.
Right. Well, the first thing I just want to talk about is that Matt Reeves did say that this Joker is not Joker yet. Like, he still hasn't became the Joker. And he's still like a low level, but he is like, I think he has confirmed he is some kind of serial killer. And he has like some kind of like we saw in Todd Phillips's Joker. He has some kind of like medical type thing from birth where he's always smiling. Personally, I loved that they cut the scene out, because like Josh, you said, that definitely would have messed up the pacing. And to be honest, I think one of the biggest, I loved the Batman. I said that from our first video. I saw it again. I love it even more. It's honestly probably a top 3 movie for me all time already. But I didn't like his introduction. Like, I thought that kind of was weird at the end of the movie. Obviously we saw, spoilers, I guess, but we saw Riddler in prison, and then we had that tiny little encounter where he didn't confirm who it was, but it was just, I thought that kind of messed with the pacing and just like the end of the movie a little bit. I was like, we didn't really need that. From the scene, like I said right away, I don't like how he sounds. I think his laugh is really good for the Joker, but when he actually is like talking, like his normal voice, obviously it's a different take, so like, and this is a 5-minute clip, I'm definitely open to seeing him more, but from that clip, I just thought he sounded like his voice just doesn't feel very Joker-like to me. Personally, I didn't think he didn't change his voice or his accent that much from how he normally sounds. Like, if you just close your eyes and played a clip of him talking, even him talking as Druig in the Eternals, and this movie, you can easily tell within a minute it's the same actor. His voice is very not changed. I just didn't like that part of it. His look, I think, is interesting, but I don't know why this Joker is British and his teeth are as fucked up as they are. Like, he's been chewing on rocks like he's from fucking England. I don't understand that. They also look like he's trying to be a fucking shark boy, but they're all fucked up as well. Like, it looks like there's multiple rows almost, and they're all turned and shit. I understand they're going a different direction. This is a darker one. But just like, as the Joker, I was just like, his voice, first off, for me, like I said, I don't like. and his look is interesting, and I liked like his fingers were all fucked up and stuff. I thought that was cool, and I think that's gonna be interesting to see. And like you talked about, he has like the scars, like his head is in his hair and stuff. Like when I saw his mouth, I was just like, the fuck is this London looking fuck being the Joker? Like I don't understand that. I mean, like I said, I'm open and I'm excited for them to continue this trilogy. And like we've talked about, we're gonna talk about where they go. But like my first initial thoughts on him is not too impressed.
I would have to say I agree with some of the stuff you said. I was more of when I heard, the laugh and the riddle that he said at the end of the Batman. I was like, please no. It definitely turned me off. That was one of my biggest downsides of the Batman because it kind of derailed me from the movie and everything that was going on with
Right.
the finish. And it was like, now we're just quick focus to the Joker, and there's so much attention towards him. Like, I don't want that. This is not about him. But with that 5-minute clip, though, it kind of helped me accept the fact that like I could see this guy being the Joker, and I digged his look. I felt like it fit the universe that we've seen. I like the fact that there's already been a background history between the two, and that said that he was a serial killer, and that the Batman, he was coming to him. I like the interaction between the two. I think the look is nice and different from the past Jokers we've seen. And it doesn't feel like much of a repeat, so that way I'm not like burnt out from the Jokers. With that being said, though, I do not want this guy being a main character in the second movie, and maybe even the third one. I don't even know. But this 5-minute clip, though, gave me confidence in the fact that they would be able to pull him off in general.
Yeah, I agree. I have the same feeling where it's like, just because we've gotten Joker a lot recently, I feel like we need a break from him. Introduce the other villains in the next two movies. I don't mind. If you want to have the Joker kind of, or I guess not the Joker yet, but him in the background, looming around, kind of popping in here and there, but not being like a prominent role, I'm fine with that. I don't mind, but just give other villains time to shine. At least for sure for the next one. And then if you want to kind of have him be like a secondary villain still, and then like if they choose to go for another trilogy, have him then be like a full-fledged Joker in that one, that's perfectly fine. But just give other villains time to shine first. I have nothing against the actor or the character of the Joker. I just we've gotten him so much recently. It's like kind of give other characters like Mr. Freeze. We haven't seen him in like decades. Bane, Poison Ivy. I don't know. You can do a bunch of weird shit, especially in this universe where it's a lot grittier, darker. Honestly, I feel like a character like Poison Ivy would fit, this kind of universe where it's like, Riddler was trying to take down the government, and now you have Poison Ivy, who's I think she's a doctor before she becomes Poison Ivy. She's trying to keep like the plants, there alive because everyone keeps on, building, and basically it's a whole. As a city, it's an industrial city. So at one point that wasn't there. It just didn't just appear. So maybe you can do something with that where now she wants to, get at the people, that are also in power that build these buildings and shit. I don't know. You can do some weird shit. It's Matt Reeves. They'll right. Figure it out. They can bring in any character other than Joker and make it make sense. Because I've seen that they can do it with a character like the Riddler.
Yeah, I think like the thing is with Joker and all that is we've seen him so many times, and Batman has so many iconic and good villains that haven't been done right, especially in live action, that I just think like, why not just go and explore those villains for once and not, do the same thing of trying to force like, oh, Joker. Like, obviously, we all know Joker is one of the most iconic villains of all time, and he's amazing. But at the same time, like, let's not just overdo him and be like, oh, we have a Batman movie, boom, we need to have Joker. We're doing a trilogy, all about Joker. Like, let's actually explore some of the plenty of other good villains that Batman has. And I think that definitely this universe gives them the ability to, like you talked about with how it is like this like dirtier, more serious kind of just hardened city, that I think this does open up the ability to bring in even like focusing on like crime issues going on, like we saw Penguin and Falcone and all that stuff. Like you can focus more on like the, and I mean obviously Joker would be a part of that, but you can bring in like that kind of universe and have him deal with those kind of issues, not just like, oh, we're doing the Batman, here's the Joker. It's like, come on, we can expand a little bit here.
Yeah, and I feel like one thing I actually liked about how this Joker looked and how he's talking, I can see this Joker, if they introduce Jason Todd, I can see this Joker killing him and then having that whole character arc and storyline of how Batman doesn't avenge him, basically. And then we can have an introduction to the Red Hood. And I think that would be so fun to watch. I think they would kill it, especially with Matt Reeves doing all that, because I'm actually a hater of the Robins. I think they just aren't good. They're just a joke character. But I think if they introduced Jason Todd and had that story arc of the Joker, if they had him as a background character and then he does something so extreme of as killing a Robin, I think that would be amazing. And I definitely see how this Joker looks and how he was acting. He's already a serial killer. That would work, in my opinion, and also be a nice introduction to a Robin, which we haven't really had, except for like the George Clooney one. So,
right. With that though, I kind of wonder. I mean, obviously, the common thing is like trilogies are big, but as we're seeing, like Thor now is getting his fourth movie. I think this universe has potential. If they wanted to do more than just a trilogy, they could. I doubt they will. I would guess they do a trilogy and end it because they don't want to go on too much. But like with that kind of storyline, Josh, would you want like this next movie to include our Robin and have him die in this movie, or are you like how exactly do you think? Because I think you can't do all of it in one movie. Obviously, you can't introduce him, have him die in a meaningful way, and then have the whole Red Hood storyline. Obviously, you need at least 2 movies. I would think you would almost need 3. Are you thinking they could fit this in a trilogy? Like, how would you?
No, I don't think that would be fit in a trilogy. I think we need Batman and these other characters. This need to be focused on Batman because we have an early Batman. He did great. I love how it was like conflicting in the Batman of like his values and how he realized I need to be different. And I love that. Just developing who Batman is and also the dynamic of Bruce Wayne, which I feel like they'll go into the next movie. But I feel like it more be the third movie would be like the setup. So it'd be concluding Batman and his character arc. This trilogy should all be about Batman and these other characters we haven't seen done properly right. Like we just saw Riddler get done right. And then now we have potential of like the Penguin and we had Falcone, which was really great. That was fun to watch. He was amazing in it. So I would love for it to be like the Joker gets introduced in the third movie and he could potentially be the main bad guy in the third movie. And then in the like maybe have a Robin in the third, or it'd be like the fourth movie be where Robin comes in and then that's where you have that Jason Todd and then Joker does something crazy like killing him. And then I think that would be a really dark movie and also be a nice setup for if they want to do more movies. Now, do I think any of that will happen? No way, especially because, Warner Bros. Just is really weird what's going on with DC now. They're like conflicting of ending the past universe that they have going on. And then this was kind of like a test film to see if it even would succeed. And now that it did succeed, you don't know if they're going to actually try to full send and force Matt Reeves to do stuff that he might not want to do. Plus also kind of it's hard for these actors to really dedicate to more than a trilogy because obviously Pattinson is a great actor and he loves doing different roles. So would he actually dedicate to this role for more than a trilogy? I don't know. I don't think that will probably happen, sadly.
I think he actually has potential too if he wanted to.
It's like a mix.
He seemed very excited about this Batman. All the interviews, like he was diving deep into Batman, like reading comics. He talked about he wants like the Court of Owls is the next one he wants to see. Like he has been like very into it. So I think there may be potential for him to do more than just a trilogy. I mean, at bare minimum, we all hope there's at least a trilogy, especially after this first one. But I don't know, maybe there's potential for Pattinson to be like, you know what, I can also still fit in a couple of my other films that I want to do. Obviously, this is me just being hopeful, but who knows?
Honestly, I think the one person I think that could like I don't want to say derail that from being more than just a trilogy because it's not fair because it's he's the one that directs it would be Matt Reeves. It's his vision, it's his world. He puts everything to screen, so without him, it wouldn't work. So I feel like if his plan, like if he likes the idea of doing a trilogy and nothing more than that, we we can't hate on him for that. That's if what he envisioned before he started this was about a trilogy, then that's what he will do. Now, if all of a sudden when the time comes, if there is a trilogy and he's doing the third one and it ends, and he's doing the marketing for it and he feels like what, there's still potential here for more, then that's because I honestly I don't feel like Pattinson would be the one to be like no, like a trilogy and that's it. I feel like he would be probably open to it, especially if he feels like and from what I've seen, he actually enjoyed working with Matt Reeves and the entire cast and crew on this first film. If he enjoys it, in the next one, and then if it's on a third one, I feel like he'd be the one to be more open to just playing it until like the story ends. I feel like he won't be satisfied until he feels that the story with Bruce Wayne and Batman together ends in like the best way possible. If there's potential
Right.
for more, I feel like he would come back for it. I feel like the one person I feel like would want to like end it there would probably be Matt Reeves himself. So
Which, if they
that's just my
wanted, they
two
could
cents
move
on it.
on from Matt Reeves at some point. Like, obviously, it would be different, but like, they could say do a Matt Reeves trilogy, and then he's like, I'm done. But like, if Pattinson, with this being such a young Batman, even by the time the third one comes out, he still will be pretty young. There could be potential that they're like, you know what, we think there's more here. We'll keep Pattinson in the crew. We just bring in a new director and we try to continue, which obviously could be risky from losing, quality over it. And you also don't want to overdo because this one was so good. You don't want this to turn into obviously this is an extreme example, but a Fast and Furious where you're now into 10 movies deep and it's dog shit, which I
Yeah,
trust won't happen.
yeah.
But like, so we've kind of got a little bit Josh wanting to bring in like the whole Joker in for that. Alex, what is your kind of thoughts on not even just Joker alone, but also where you kind of want to see this go a little bit?
Well, I kind of agree with Pattinson. Honestly, I feel like if there's a villain or a set like group of villains that would work, especially in this trilogy, I feel like a group like the Court of Owls would definitely be like dope, especially with like the themes that the first movie kind of touched on. Court of Owls would definitely be dope. I don't know if I would want them for the second one or the third one, but I feel like either the Court of Owls, kind of being like a secondary villain or group of villains, and then maybe Hush, because I know that it was kind of teased there for a while in like I don't know, the film that Riddler had playing in that
Right.
abandoned, what was it, building.
That was at the
Um,
orphanage.
Hush could be there. Yeah, at the orphanage. I don't know. Poison Ivy. I like I said earlier. Maybe Bane, because we kind of got that like. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's considered an adrenaline shot. Yeah, that shot where then all of a sudden
It
Batman
was
just starts going
green.
ham on that one guy. Yeah, and it was green. So maybe it's a tease at Bane. Um, I don't know. They can go a bunch of different routes. Scarecrow.
Alex, just knowing you and your obsession with the Green Goblin and Willem Dafoe, as soon as we saw the green thing, when I saw it a second time, Emily Emily leaned over and she's like, I bet Alex wishes that was the Green Goblin serum and Willem Dafoe showed up. Because you have such a hard on for him. And I just thought it was so funny, bro.
Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket.
What the fuck, Emily?
Uncalled for.
That's not called for.
Personally, like I said, I thought it was adrenaline. I would love if that was some kind of Venom and we do see Bane. He is one of the big people I want to see. Even though, obviously, we saw him to end the Christian Bale Christopher Nolan trilogy, we saw Bane, but I would love to see the Bane that actually has Venom incorporated, that we see him, use this and get just jacked out of his mind and just super aggressive and stuff.
Steroids.
Do I think they'll do it? I don't know for sure, because I think that maybe, I don't know, it could fit because Bane does have his own kind of criminal organization in a way that he leads, but he's also more of just like a muscle man in a way. So I could see him being, say they continue, I mean, I doubt this would be for the movie, but let's say they continue with like Penguin story arc and he comes to like rise to power in the criminal underworld. If they did that, then maybe we get Bane to show up as Penguin, kind of as like a hired,
Muscle.
as a muscle man mercenary type role. I'd be cool with seeing that. But I would say my two biggest bads, I guess, that I want to see in live action in this world is Bane, definitely. And I'm with you. I want to see Mr. Freeze. I think Mr. Freeze done. I don't know if they could top Arnold Schwarzenegger because that was phenomenal one. But I would love to see Mr. Freeze. I don't know, for some reason I just think he's a cool character. I always remember playing the like Arkham Asylum games, and he had like his own little story arc in that, or like storyline in that I thought was pretty cool. So I don't know. Mr. Freeze and Bane are my two bigs that I really want to see done properly.
Dude, honestly, a character I really badly want to see that I kind of just thought of, because the only time I think we've seen him in a movie when it comes to DC was the Birds of Prey, but the Black Mask, I want to see him so bad. I love him. His look is so sleek. Also, he is
definitely
really and in this universe, he definitely fit because it deals with, basically a crime lord. Also, the fact that it had conflicting stories about how you being raised as a child, that was a common theme in the Batman when it came to like the Riddler. He was talking about his story, and then Bruce Wayne. And the Black Mask starts as a kid that like his parents didn't really give him attention, and they were more focused like on their wealth and stuff. So I think that would be kind of a cool story to bring the Black Mask in, as well as dealing with the fact that all the crime lords are going to be fighting and battling out. And that also kind of helped the Penguin grow his kind of height in the movie, because he was more of like a side character. So you can maybe have them two conflicting with each other. But the Black Mask, I think done right, especially in this universe, would be a top tier villain, in my opinion, because in the Birds of Prey, he definitely was more of a joke, funny character, and he was played by Evan McGregor, which was really fun to watch. Actually, I actually did like that movie, but I think he'd be crazy good in this universe.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he was one of the people I was thinking of that like Bane could work for, like they could hire him. But I couldn't remember his name. I knew it had Mask in it, or something around Hood.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking
his
Red
Black
Hood, and I was like,
Mask.
that's not right. And I was just trying to Black Mask. But yeah, he would be another good one that you said this fits. And then also, maybe he could hire Bane, and that's how we could also incorporate Bane as like a side villain in the movie. But yeah, no, I think he definitely 100% would be a good villain and would fit for them in this universe.
Dude, it's insane because like Batman and like I guess Batman and Spider-Man have one of the best rogues gallery. So like Batman, you can choose any Batman villain, honestly. I feel like other than the Joker, of course, but like just give them time to shine. If you want to do like the main bad guy and have like two side villains, like where he has to like beat them before he gets to to like the main one. That way you get like new characters that we haven't seen in a long time or ever. Because I'm sure there's characters that we've never seen on screen before. I mean, at least in live action. Just
100% there. Yeah.
What, like Man-Bat? The Arkham games, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was Man-Bat, and then there was this one character who was like
Hugo.
Hugo Strange. The
the
one
with the Arkham Asylum.
The one with the pig mask. Like the weird one where he's like singing like classical music and he's like cutting people up. I think it's.
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember the name though.
Dr. Pig?
For some reason, I want to just say it's the Butcher, but I don't feel like it's
no,
right.
It's Dr. Wait, hold on. I have to. Hold on.
Bro, fuck it. Let's bring Calendar Man in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just get wild with it.
Professor Pig. That's what it is.
Well,
I think this like.
Professor Pig.
Like,
I love that.
weird thing.
Dude, that would be.
Yeah.
Spicy.
And he like apparently he like
Bro, can you imagine if they decided to go down that route of like, so obviously we've already seen Arkham is a set thing. Arkham Asylum is a thing. It already is holding Riddler now, and potentially, this Joker, pre-Joker, whatever. That'd be kind of interesting if they go the route where Arkham Asylum is a bigger thing, and then we could bring in Hugo Strange. You could bring in Calendar Man, Dr. Pig, Mr. Pig, fucking
Professor Pig,
Miss Piggy, whoever the fuck, Professor Pig. And, like, you could bring in, like, that kind of stuff of these kind of, like, more, not well-known ones, but, like, just these crazy criminals that are just out of their minds. And it would fit in this universe.
yeah, like
So, like, if they wanted to, they could try to go, like, this Arkham Asylum. And we had, in the first one, they talked about, the Arkhams and the Waynes getting together, and, like, the Arkham and how his mom was, like, kind of crazy and stuff. Like, they've kind of set it up a little bit. If they wanted to, they could go down this Arkham Asylum route, in a way, and have all these lesser-known, secondary, almost villains just running rampant in the city.
Yeah, I definitely like that, having like side characters be like bigger characters, kind of like how they did the Penguin in this one. Because I know you guys mentioned Bane, but like I actually don't. I hope Bane never becomes like a main bad guy and more of just a muscle dude. Because I don't know. I think it'd be kind of annoying to conflict with what we already got from the Dark Knight trilogy. I know we already technically got like Scarecrow, which I think if they did redo Scarecrow, he'd be fantastic in this universe. Especially if they went the route with Batman using the Scarecrow. I don't know what's the term for what his stuff is.
It's just like the scare gas or whatever.
Yeah, the gas. Yeah.
I don't know
if he used that to his advantage, how he already inflicts fear. But that might be like a later route they can go if like Batman kind of reverses back to the vengeance side, maybe after losing Jason Todd. You know what I mean? They can totally connect that too. But I definitely like the fact of like side characters being a thing and a huge part, not necessarily like setting them up to be a main bad guy, but no, they're just in that universe and seeing like just how crazy it actually is in this city and everything going on.
Yeah, like Gotham has a bunch of wild freak serial killers,
messed
all
up
this
people
stuff going on. That it's not just like,
especially after the Riddler literally destroying the city.
Right, like it would. They've definitely, if they wanted to go that Arkham Asylum, just bunch of these wild people. They have
a scene where like Batman is like either stuck or he like goes to Arkham Asylum. He has to like fight his way out or just walk his way out. I don't know, just a way. You can literally just have like the villains like show up like to like in their like bar cell and just like you just at least see them. I don't know. I feel like it'd be kind of cool. I don't know about the second movie, but maybe have him in the third movie somehow, some way. He gets like trapped inside of Arkham Asylum and he has to fight his way out, and that's how he like sees all these other people. We get like glimpses of like these obscure characters, like you guys mentioned, Hugo Strange. Maybe he is the villain of the third one, and he like traps him in Arkham Asylum, and now he's trapped with a bunch of lunatics and serial killers. You get like I think one of them's like Mr. Zaz. He's like a serial killer. Professor Pig. You get like Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Riddler can show up again, and now he's literally trapped inside of his Rose Gallery, pretty much, and he has to fight his way out. That'd be pretty dope.
Right.
Yeah, I like that because imagine having like a Batman version of that one Daredevil hallway scene, but he's fighting his villains that he has put away, and now he's suffering the consequences of the fact that the Batman never actually puts them, away. Right. And he just has to fight them all, and then also kind of has that, how's he going to do this? And it's just like, well, he's the Batman. Of course he's going to do it. It's kind of just a funny thing going on. It's like, there's no way this man should be able to win these fights. But it's kind of have a later vetted Batman with better skills, and also he's probably going to be built a little more, and it has better gadgets, and he's just taking on all these guys. I think it'd be
right. That's
nice.
What I was just thinking with this. It would be a little hard since he is so young. To already have all those people locked up would be a little bit of a challenge to kind of like make sense in a way of like, this would have to be like more of like a movie 3. Hopefully that's because obviously if they wanted to, from between movie 1 and movie 2, they could jump a couple years if they really wanted to. I don't know. For me, the feel of this universe, it doesn't feel like they really would jump that far. Like I feel like this isn't going to be like the next one is like
5 years later.
7 years later. He's almost a decade into the Batman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is one that kind of will carry over pretty quickly. That's why that may be a little challenging of like, by the time we hit the third one, he's only like 5 years into the Batman. He's already locked up all of these guys. Could be a bit of a challenge. But it also would make sense if they did that with these lower characters. Because it would make sense if he had like, you know, the Calendar Mans, the, you know, these just normal serial killers, the Zaza or whatever that guy's name is. You just named that. I remembered him too. But like, it would make sense to have these normal just serial killers. Like, he could lock those guys up. That would make sense. So like, if they wanted to, they could lean more that way instead of going into like the bigger bads that are kind of more obscure in the real world, like, you know, of Bane that injects venom into himself and gets jacked, or a Mr. Freeze who built that. Like, those ones I would like to see. It might be a little obscure for this reality. We could definitely see like an Arkham Asylum of just, these are just normal people that are out of their mind serial killers, and that would be really cool. So
Right.
yeah, the third one, I think that Arkham Asylum kind of route would definitely be dope to see.
Yeah, especially since, like you said, you mentioned that, you know, the Waynes and the Arkhams were so close. I feel like they have to at least have like some sort of setting where he is at Arkham Asylum, like in it, like fully, not just like in like their interrogation room or whatever. It's shown twice in when he
Right, and we've
interviews
seen
with
him
Riddler.
go there.
Yeah, he's there, but he's never like there, like inside where they're like kept.
Right.
Um,
Right, like we've seen him talk to Riddler there, and the deleted scene we saw him there with Joker.
right.
So like, we've seen him go there and talk to people that he's locked up. So it wouldn't be like random for him to be actually at Arkham to like, you could say like the Joker somehow has a way to like tell him like, oh, come, you know, let's say there's something going on outside. There's like hush is going on. And somehow the Joker communicates to him like, oh, or Batman's like, I have to go to the Joker, see if he can help me with this case. But really it was a trap by Hugo or whoever to get him to Arkham. And then all of a sudden there's this prison break. And it's just like what Josh said with Daredevil. Now he's in Arkham Asylum. And Hugo, they drew him there. And now he's just like letting everybody go. And now it's just him fighting his way through all these just wild characters.
Yeah. And real quick, so I thought this was kind of cool. So the Professor Pig character, apparently he's a cannibal that, you know, makes pies out of like human organs, and he like kind of I don't know, what's like like a Zodiac type of killer, you know, where he like kills people and he like leaves like pies there. It's fucking weird. Like, I feel like this character would fit this universe, you know? It's like a weird, obscure serial killer, fucked up person. So I feel like a character like that would definitely, even if it's like in just like we've mentioned before, in an Arkham Asylum, inside of a cell, it's just, you know, there's potential for sure. This universe is, you know, it's still young.
100%.
I think probably the final thing I would ever want to see that could have potential, maybe, from this series, depending on how successful, if they do a trilogy and more movies after that, because obviously that's going to take years and years, is Batman Beyond is my favorite Batman by far. I loved it as an animated series as a kid. I wanted to be him so bad. I wanted to be Terry McGinnis. So stinking bad, dude. I thought he was so cool. Also, visually, if that was done in the movie, it would destroy everything we've seen in the Batman now that we just got. Plus, the villains were cool and unique, and also it would be cool to see an older past Batman actor when they've actually aged and playing the role again, kind of get that nostalgic feel of what we've seen when we were younger. And then, plus, I would love to see the villain Spellbinder, just because he looks crazy cool. I don't know if you guys know what he looks like, but he's the dude that has like all the squiggly lines and he's orange. And he has the power to mind control. And he's like one of probably the most vicious villains that Batman Beyond fights. So I absolutely love it.
I mean, they are doing the whole Michael Keaton is supposed to be back in the Flash. Like, they are bringing back those Batmans.
Yeah, they're doing the Flashpoint, though, and that's just like
Right.
a desperate grab to get remaining money from that failed universe.
I mean, I'd definitely be interested to see, like you said, like an actual well-done like Batman with a Robin, or even like a Bat Family type feel. Like, I think that would actually be cool to see a well done
But the only thing,
Batman, Robin, or his kids or whoever.
yeah, but the only thing that like, and I agree with you guys. I feel like having like the Joker kill, Jason Todd and everything, that makes sense. But if we're going off of what happens, really, normally it's always going to be Dick Grayson's Robin that becomes Nightwing first, and then Jason Todd would be the second Robin who gets killed, and then he becomes Red Hood.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they want to, just for the sake of this being its own universe, want to skip over the first Robin and just go straight to the second one.
You speed it up. You just make the first one.
You would
become Red Hood.
You'd have to skip it.
So I mean, but who knows?
Yeah, me suggesting that was skipping that, because that would just take way too much setup. You'd have to it would take so many movies, and it realistically actually getting done a proper Bat Family for that would be so hard. And then also you have to set up the Nightwing series and dealing with everything like that. Plus then people would want Nightwing movies, and then knowing, Warner Brothers, they probably would do that for the money, and then it just probably would be ass, and then everything. Yeah, just you would have to skip that. Just give us Jason Todd as a Robin, and the Joker kill Jason Todd. Because just imagine hearing his name for the first time and having Joker in that universe. You just already know this is about to happen. You're just waiting for that moment. And it would be pretty fearful. You're just like, this guy is going to die. I'm getting attached to him, and I have to just wait.
To witness his death, yeah, for sure. But I think the key here, and I think we can all agree, the key here is that Warner Brothers has to be like left out of it. Like, they have to provide the money, but just give all of the creative freedom to the directors and the writers. Don't come in and start to, just demand stuff and just have it be like, we have to have this.
Find a way to put Superman in so we can do a spin-off with Superman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't need them to try to throw in like Justice League or tie this to the garbage-ass Justice League that they're already doing. Like, let this be its own thing. Give them the money. You're gonna make money out of it, obviously, as we're seeing with how good the Batman's doing. Like, just give them the money. Let them write. Let them direct. Let them have control. They'll produce a great movie. You'll get paid. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. Let the creatives who actually make the films make the film they want to make, not like under what you force them to do. I feel like they should know that by now, but I don't know. They've somehow found a way to mess it up time and time again, but it is what it is, I guess. They are the ones that are providing the money, so I guess they feel entitled to be demanding this and that, but no, I feel like, especially after this movie and how well it's been doing and it's still going, I feel like that they should I think they put out a press release where they're like, from now on, we're gonna give directors, if they have an idea and we greenlit it, we're gonna give them all of the creative freedom, which is good. Like, good, keep doing that. Don't revert back to your old ways, because you've seen what happens when you fuck up a director's vision. Just let them do what they were set out to do. So, yeah, that's just my last thing.
I mean, at the same time, they did need to step in and fuck up Zack Snyder's vision, because fuck Zack Snyder.
Let WB go crazy over there, so then that way Matt Reeves could just slide and get this trilogy done.
True. Just keep
facts. Just be like, hey, keep focusing on this Justice League and that Batman stuff. Don't
make a third Wonder Woman, WB. All right, pay attention to that.
Pay attention to this.
Let Matt Reeves go crazy.
That'd be so nice. All right, then I guess with that, we'll wrap this one up. As always, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Leave us down comments below if there's anything we said that you agree or disagree with. Maybe who you want to see show up in the trilogy, potentially more. Who knows? Maybe not even a trilogy.
Anthology.
Follow along on our TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.